Goodness gracious me. Good evening. What a fiasco that was. That I did not need in the last 5 minutes of my Wednesday evening was Twitch being a pain in my ass. With logins and codes being sent to every man on the planet for me to get the logins back and working. But we're back. We are here on this glorious, very muggy Wednesday evening, I must say. I am hot, and not in a fun kind of way either. It is very muggy outside. But we're back. We are here for some more DSL good stuff. DSL there we go. We're not even 5 minutes in and I still can't speak. DSL Sprint League round 6. Round 6. I writ down round 5 in my notepad, and it's round 6 tonight, so I made sure to get that right. When I late, I know, brother, because Snacks did a great job filling in for me last week. The logins then got yeeted off me, and so Snacks' account was linked to Twitch. Just a pain in the ass, but we're here. We're back, and we're here. All right, so don't at me politely, But evening, Curly. Hope you're well. James, hope you're well as well, buddy. Hope you're okay as well, AJ. Although after the attitude and the dig already, I'm kind of questioning whether I care or not. But I digress. Spa on a glorious Wednesday evening. I mean, what more can you ask for? What more can one want than the glorious Belgium Grand Prix on a Wednesday evening? More so now that the Grand Prix is cancelled for the weekend. This weekend. So we've got to get the F1 fix some way, shape or form. So here we are. Trickle in to watch these guys duke it out, battle it out on circuit tonight. Oh, first voice break of the night. And we are not 10 minutes in. Son of a bitch. Oh, it's going to be one of those nights. It's going to be one of... Oh, that's pain. That's genuine pain. Oh, Nelly. That's not what I need. That's not what I'm doing. Oh. Voice break number 1. Qualifying I'd not even got loaded into the game. Great stuff. So that's a night we're going to be having tonight, apparently, with my vocal cords. Let me turn my Spotify down real quick. I have got music blasting in my headset, and I feel like I'm shouting at you. There we go, turn it down a little bit. Rain, ooh, bit of rain in the race. Adam, unpause your game, you pleb. There we go. I'm going to be rusty tonight, is what I'm going to be. I'm going to be rusty, I'm going to be out of sorts. Buttons are going to get pressed, I shouldn't get pressed. It's going to be just chaos and calamity throughout the evening's proceedings. Let's get on board a car. There we go, One Kidney Gym. Nice. Bro, rain super late on. Oh, boring. Boo. Wanted rain throughout the race. Wanted that to be spicy up Eau Rouge. So yes, whilst we're here, we'll get off board real quick so that engine isn't screaming down through everyone's headphones, speakers, all of that good stuff. But we will address a couple of things whilst we're here, all just chilling. First and foremost, a huge GG's to Snacks for his job last Wednesday, filling in for myself whilst I wasn't present due to a passing away of a friend. Not going to dive too much into that subject tonight, but I appreciate all the kind words that were said after the fact. I'm not going to sit and pretend that I'm okay in all a bed of roses. Man's not. It's been a little bit difficult, but we've got a job to do, show to put on, so we are here for the funsies, is what we are here for tonight. But yes, huge GG's to Snacks for the job he did last Wednesday in my absence. Thank you, mate. It is greatly appreciated from myself and the rest of the team, and for those that watched, I can imagine. And thank you again for the kind words that were said and sent to me after the announcement. So that is the good, the bad, and the dreary out the way. Less about me, more about these guys on circuit. We've got One Kidney Jim in the McLaren. Ew, I must say, not a fan of that livery. I think I've mentioned it twice this season already. Up Eau Rouge he goes. First one to brave the incredible incline up that hill. Phenomenal corner, historical corner. I'm sure every driver would agree. It is one of the most satisfying ones to go up. Although not as much nowadays. I think with how much the cars have modernised and how much the aero has improved, Eau Rouge and Radion's become a little bit easy now. Well, a little bit easier, I should say, than what it was prior. He goes into Sector 2 just about. Want to get the car in there nice and early, get it rotated around through No Name, I believe. I cannot remember all of the corners around the Spa circuit, so I'm not even going to pretend that I do. So it's very much just going to be corner name, or corner letters, all that jazz, the old-fashioned way is where it's going to be. I know Eau Rouge, I know Radion, I think I know No Name and Pouon and the bus stop chicane. I'm pretty sure that's all the important ones as far as I'm aware. But what is important is nailing your lap around the very long circuit that is Spa. I believe it is 7.004 kilometers in length, which, as you can imagine, is the longest lap on the calendar. It is a right trek. It is like a trip to the supermarket, getting a lap in around it. You have got traffic behind you. One kidney Jim, that has very much almost gone into your gear. We've got a DNF already. Who's absolutely binned it? And who's got away with it, first and foremost? How have I not seen that? How have I not witnessed said binnage? That's probably not a racing terminology, but we're using it for tonight. Binnage. There we go, boys. Ooh, hello. That's a guy we will get on board with. A returning face to the league racing scene. A few of us, me and myself, AJ, and a few of the guys from the latter years have all raced with Flecky for a long period of time, now returned into the racing side of things and got an Xbox back. Couldn't stay away, bless his little cotton socks. Good to see him though back on a circuit with us up a oh, big snap of oversteer going up Eau Rouge there. Don't want that mid-corner going up that hill going 185 miles an hour. I can assure you he is sweating in that cockpit. Well, I say cockpit, in his living room, no doubt, sat behind his bench. What crunch then? Behind Fleck, I thought a car binned it behind him. There was an almighty crunch somewhere on the circuit. The times are coming down. Reading with a P1 at the minute, a 148.025, or quickly extinguished though by Cinderfella. Great game of tag. Gonna mention that throughout the entire league. I can promise you that. That is never going to go away. Here goes Flecky into Pouon, I believe. I think that was Pouon, however it's pronounced. I'm probably completely butchering that name, to be honest with you. I'm probably completely butchering that and making it sound like a medical condition rather than a corner. But I digress. I think that's the name of it. And that's what we're going to run with throughout the evening's proceedings. Lap looking tidy though from Flecky in the Red Bull. No bias here from me obviously about that car, but it is great, glorious and beautiful. Say nothing more on that subject matter. We'll see it around this weekend though, will we? Neither will the rest of the teams. No Red Bull dramas this weekend as they come cannoning through the rest of the field. We'll touch on this weekend's cancellation in a few moments time actually, as some of the times start to tick down in this short qualifying session. Mr. Plains forever reliable at the top of the field with a 144.437. Flecky, a little cosy, comfortable 146, sat in P6 at the moment. Down a grid we are going to scoot on by, baby. Down a grid we go. We've got Lager, the man, the myth, the trucker, about to set his first lap of the session. Delboy as well on a invalidated lap. And Sterling on an invalidation lap as well. So Lager it is. Into turn one he goes. We'll get off board that. We'll take... Whoa! It's all kind of slidey out of turn one there. That is very easy to do, I must say. So it's the traction limited exit and the slight bit of camber as you approach the apex going into that corner can upset the rears massively. Want to get the steering wheel as straight as you can, as early as you dare. Get that power down planted nicely when that car is straight. Get it away cleanly and the rears not spooled up too much. Nice as ever. Through 4 and 5. Whipping it through there. The change of direction, very nice in the Aston Martin. So whilst we watch Lager go about his business, around the circuit, let's have a little mention about this weekend's proceedings, or lack thereof, should I say. So we've all learnt now that the Grand Prix has been cancelled due to torrential weather conditions in Italy at the moment. It must be said and must absolutely be mentioned that when I first saw the weather warnings at the start of the week and leading up to the end of the weekend as well, I didn't really think too much about it. It just looked like a little bit of heavy rain and was maybe going to pass over, and boy was I wrong. But they have been absolutely salt and peppered throughout the last 2.5, 3 days, and with the weather warnings increasing to red, which is, long story short, it means now is not a good time for Formula 1. The race weekend proceedings got cancelled until further notice. So we all wait to see what happens there, whether the race gets reorganised or is just fobbed off throughout this season. As Lager sits in P8 at the moment, tidy lap there from him, as always. It's a very hard lap to commentate over. It's a very long lap, is Spa. As I mentioned earlier, the longest lap on the calendar. 9 left-handers and 10 right-handers for the drivers to contend with tonight. As Lager is still going absolutely rapido through sector 1 there. He's got aboard his teammate, shall we? Yes, we shall. Let's see what Absy does throughout the remainder of his flying lap, I believe. I think he's only set 1 lap at the moment. That was the most profound P ever, apparently. Yes, he has. 2 laps, I should say. There we go. Everyone on this off-tire tonight. Oh, excuse me. I do apologise. A little bit of a hiccup there. Coming through into the pit lane he goes. Tease me, tease me. Every week without fail. Cars on outlap, lovely. Monkey and Jim are very much almost giving the pit entry wall there a love tap. I'm pretty sure everyone has hit the pit entry wall at Spa. I've done it plenty of times. It is not fun. Nothing worse than going in for a tyre change only and end up needing a new front wing in the process of entering to the pit lane. It is very embarrassing, I must confess. So we got here then. Ooh, we got the boss man on an outlet. We'll keep on board Mr. DSL Senna, who is currently streaming on Facebook still, I believe. And I also believe his link to his Facebook channel is in the About Me on the Twitch page as well. Go give him a nosy, give him a like and a follow, all that good stuff. Show the boss man some love and appreciation as he comes into the bus stop now, warming up those soft tyres. In fact, we'll get on board the Alfa Romeo as well. Good evening to you, Snacksy boy. Hope you are good and well, mate. Into turn 1, he comes hard on the brakes. Get those gears down. Get that car nicely rotated in there. Other gears, he comes 3rd gear, 4th gear. The traction, again, as I said, very rear limited through there. Can get all kinds of loose if you are too heavy on that throttle. Upper Rouge, completely flat. Absolutely in the dry. As we mentioned earlier, these cars nowadays, the aero's so good, the tech is so good that they can just breeze up there like you wouldn't believe. A very different corner in the heavy GT3 car for those that play Assetto Corsa. In fact, I believe this week we had an ACC League race there. I think, I could be wrong there talking out of my ass, but I believe the ACC boys was at Spa this week as well. And Eau Rouge and Radion is a very different corner in those big, lumbering, heavy GT3 cars. Certainly not flat out, that is for certain. You ain't going up there at 185, 190 miles an hour in a GT car, I can assure you that. What's that? Senna bottled it on mate. I have smashed so many GT cars up Eau Rouge on ACC, it's unbelievable. Because you think it's flat, and as soon as you hit the entry, if you're carrying too much speed, you just get that big wash of understeer straight away, and then the car's just unsettled from there. And there's just no saving it sometimes. Most of Upper Rouge. Speaking of saving it, Senna seems to be saving a good lap here for the last stages of the qualifying session. Through the bus stop he comes. The validated lap, yes it is. P2 for the boss man. Woohoo! Ooh. flexing thy muscles is DSL Senna. P2 for the moment. I think that was a brand new set of soft tyres as well, I believe. Things you do love to see, or things you don't love to see, isn't a validation from Fresh Agent. At the moment, Kurt Mistro on a lap in the Haas. Yes, he is. Keep on board this fellow. As the Haas boys have been putting in some good performances, must be mentioned. Haas boys have been driving well throughout the entire proceedings of this race. The Aston Martin there taking the scenic route through Pouon, I believe, getting the full extent and the full value of the runoffs, I believe, through the forestry. He was looking there. Oh, track limits being pushed there for Kurt Mistro. These track limits on this circuit are very extreme, and they are extremely punishing for anyone who dares approach those white lines. That was very tight. Purple sectors for Kurt Mistro. He's absolutely flying. Is Kurt Mistro here in the Haas? We'll keep on board here for the remainder of the lap as he goes into the bus stop chicane. See if he can pip P3, P2 or even pole position. Not that far adrift either. A few tenths to find for the Haas wielding speedster in P4. Cross line P2 for Kurt Mistro. 144.472. Cheeky in the dying stages of the qualifying session. Haas wielding speedster. I'll have to write that down for future reference, is what I'll have to do there. Great lap from you, young man. Sat in P3, a couple tenths adrift. Senna in P3. Kurt Mistro, sorry, P2, not P3. English is hard, it really is. Speaking of returning faces, actually, it would be rude to not mention this man on circuit. Mr. Joe Reed raced with us in the RR League, and I believe beyond that as well, with some of the guys in leagues away from the RR and Co. So good to see Joe Reed back on circuit with some of the boys. As far as I'm aware, he took a step away from Formula 1 and league racing. I could be wrong there, but he stopped racing in some of the leagues that we ran for a little bit. The game was in a little bit of a bad state and all that jazz. But he's back now. Got the racing bug again, it seems, for these Formula 1 cars. And wants to have a dabble in the Sprint League. Things you love to see. Drivers coming back. Oh. As I make sure I keep hydrated tonight, because it is a long lap. I can imagine the sprint is going to be a busy old race. I believe it is 8 laps for the sprint race and 22 for the main. I think is what I saw. Well, Joe Reed is very much not on a lap at the minute, so we'll get on board still. You can see where he puts himself in the dying stages as he improves, I believe, or he's about to start a flyer. See how he goes through turn 1. Might be on a flyer, not too sure. We'll keep an eye on his daughter is what we'll just. Lager's currently on an outlap here. 1 minute 40 remaining of the session. Going to be a tight one here for Lager to get this car around the circuit. He's going to absolutely have to push here on an outlap like he's setting a lap to get to the line to then start his last lap of this session. So we'll keep on board Lager here to see if he can catch the remaining time on board. 1 minute 18 at the minute. It's going to be tight for Lager. 2010 for them. Not sure why Red Eye is in tight game attack there like a robot, but he is pushing this Aston Martin right now to its absolute limits to get this car towards the line. Although I think he's going to make it here with plenty of time actually. I think he's going to be alright here. Unless I've been completely deduced by the game and it wasn't his outlap and it lied to me. It was his outlap. So here Lager goes then for his last flying lap of this session. We'll keep on board the Aston Martin boy for the last 30 seconds. Might get a little bit of a tow here after Radion if he could get into the slipstream of the car in. Was that a little bit of a lift there? I heard from Lager. I'd be very surprised if it was. Be very surprised to hear any drivers lifting up Eau Rouge and Radion tonight. Should very much be balls to the wall, foot down, pinned to the floor, and up there you go. Oh, excuse me, I was just taking a short drinkaroonie. Is what I was doing. Speaking of, let's make sure we have one poured and ready for when the racing starts. Lager's looking tidy here through Sector 2, carrying a nice bit of speed and momentum throughout the apexes at the moment. Yellow flag through Sector 2, and 3 is that traffic, I believe. Yes, it was. A Ferrari. No, there is a car around actually through Sector 2. Is that a Ferrari or an Alfa Romeo? There's 3 dots on circuit at the... I think that was an Alfa Romeo, I believe. One of the two. Either way, it was Italian and it crashed. So that is the information I can give you. My expertise for the evening. It was Italian and it spun right round. Lager across the line. Can he make Pete in the top 10? Yes, he can. Nice. Clutch lap there from Lager. 145.575 in the last dying stages of this short qualifying session. Great stuff there from Mr. Lager as James Mason comes into the bus stop chicane here on a lap as well, I believe. Oh, almost ran a little bit too. Oh, get off the ape. Oh, that's a brave place to be. I can assure you that. Almost mounting that exit curb there. These cars can bottom out very easily and it makes their rear extremely unsettled. He has a habit of doing that to me every week without fail. Getting that car all kinds of shaky. What, just speaking of getting cars all out of shape and shaky. Can you get an invite? Can I do that from in here? Can I do it from in-game? Oh, I can. Absolute superstar. So, I mean, I did not see you get deceived, my man. I do apologise. There you go, good sir. I did not see your DC. There you go, matey. You are back in the room. Beautiful. Bellissimo. So, shot that has flown by in a jiffy. That is 18 minutes gone by in next to no time. So, Mr. Planes in the Williams P1, Kurt Mistro P2, DSL Senna, the man, the myth, the boss man in P3, all in, well, P2 and P3 in the 144s. Mr. Planes, the only driver to dive into 143. What is that? Internal pass Fermi is off apparently, so if it doesn't rain, oh, that is entirely my fault. I meant to turn pass Fermi on, but I could recall a conversation being had about pass Fermi interfering with something. So I turned it off because we had a bug with the presets or something. Again, I could be talking out my ass, but that is what my brain thought about, so left it off. But I trust you. Trust you all. That's why we're here. So we go in 2 minutes time. No formation lap, remember boys. So it is lights out and racing. Not a formation lap around the circuit. So I'm going to absolutely give my vocal cords a 30-second break. Have a quick cigarette. Whilst these guys get ready for the race. As I mentioned earlier, 8 laps for the first race, 22 for the second. Starts in 20 seconds. Who's readied up? You can't take control of your car at the moment. No worries, mate. You have to wait until the race starts. Okay, well apparently we're starting, boys. So it's lights out. And it's apparently, well, it's going to be a way we go at some point. There's probably going to be cars here that aren't really ready for the restart to happen, but it's happening regardless. So into turn 1, the cars are going to be going. Let's try and get up some gizmos here. Tyres. It's going to be a no-stop race here, completely start to finish. All that racing between all parties involved. Upper Rouge and Radion for the first time. These guys come. Oh, there's angry David P at the back of the grid there, getting swamped in a sea of carbon fibre. There's a driver readied up early, and there has been, I think, some drivers either not quite ready, not at the rigs, all that bad stuff. I think that is a VS, no, that is a safety car, lap 1 of the Spa Grand Prix. That caught me completely off guard because we had a 3-minute break and it didn't happen. But now there's a safety car coming out lap 1 of the Belgium Grand Prix. Unfortunately for Angry David P at the back of the grid, didn't see what happened there, didn't catch the incident that has occurred. So, do the guys feel fruity or not? Is the question I am asking, as the Flying Dutchman has said there in chat. Do you pit now? Do you pit for a set of softs and say fuck it? You know, why not? You got a lap now. You got at least 2 more laps under safety car. So the soft tyres are going to be nice and warm and not warm because you are racing, well, not racing, you're driving under safety car conditions. So the pace is minimised. So the wear is going to be minimal. And then it's what, 6 laps? A 6-lap burst on a set of softs? Basically a 5-lap race in an open lobby, which you use soft tyres for. So now I'm curious. I'm going to be looking up and down that grid on my left-hand side, see which driver feels a little bit fruity, see who feels a little bit frisky tonight to get on some soft tyres and absolutely send it in the dying stages of this Grand Prix. Known at the minute, diving in, everyone's staying out on medium tyres, opting to maintain track position. Oh, lads. Oh, hello. No, I stand credit to One Kidney Jim. Absolutely saying yes to those soft tyres. Is that Reading as well in the pit lane? No, it is not. Just One Kidney Jim. And never mind, he's got no wing. He's got no nose. He has no choice but to go into the pit lane and get that wing change. He's getting a tyre compound change as well. No, he's not staying on the... Oh, dear. 5-second severe collision with AJ under safety car. That's not what you need. Under safety car, boys. Now is the easiest time to be driving your Formula 1 car is under a safety car and VSC conditions. Contact should not be being made here throughout the safety car period of this race. Get your wits about your chaps. Come on now. Get that car around the circuit safely and efficiently. So that is a front wing now missing for the AlphaTauri of Cinderfella, I believe. Yes, it is. He's shedded a few kilos there through Rouge and Radion, I think. Who else has got a little bit of damage there? Let's have a nosy. Let's inspect some of these Formula 1 cars up and down the field. Lagers, Aston Martin looking all kind of sparkly. Flecky's Red Bull, once the camera change. There we go, excuse me, hiccups. Man is intaking a lot of oxygen whilst I am speaking, looking all good. Both end plates on the Red Bull, Aston Martin looking nice. The AlphaTauri with James Mason, both end plates indeed. So most of the cars, most of the field looking healthy, looking in good nick. Looking like they haven't picked up any form of damage, apart from these AlphaTauri of Cinderfella, I believe. So he's got a 5-second penalty to serve, which I believe he can serve that 5 second in a pit stop. Could be wrong, but I believe the 5 second you get under safety car conditions you can serve in a pit stop. And I'm pretty confident on that, to be honest with you. Pretty confident. So, because Spa is such a long lap, safety cars usually hang about for about 2 laps. At most. Usually doesn't take many laps for the safety cars to come in around this circuit. So I would imagine we're going to have one more after this one, and that will be it. Safety car will come in. Speaking of safety cars, look at that Aston Martin. It's going to get mentioned every week is how good looking the safety cars are on this game and in real life. Glorious bit of machinery. It is green, unfortunately. I'm not a fan of green, I must confess, but the Aston Martin do be pretty. DNF from 2 cars at the back of the field here. What is going on at the back of the pack here? We've got a DSL center now in the pit lane for a set of mediums. We've got Del Boy coming into the pit lane as well for a new set of tyres, I believe. Redding DNFing and One Kidney Jim. What's going on in the mid-pack there, lads? Again, under safety car conditions. Why is yellow flag racing apparently the hardest thing for you all to maintain? What's gone on there? Now we've got Del Boy in DSL Centre getting a nice little tour. Is Del Boy under the safety car conditions into turn 4? No worries, Angry Dave. Mate, I didn't see what happened to you at the back of the field after the race start, mate. So I don't know whether it was a crash amongst yourselves or you made a mistake on the exit, got a little bit of a wobble or hit the wall. No, I'm not too sure if what happened at the back of the grid, but I appreciate the kind words nonetheless, matey. Nice to be back. Nice to be back with the comms. Not too sure what has gone on there between One Kidney Jim and Redding at the back of the grid. Make sure things are clipped, boys. Tonight is a vital, important bit that makes our life a lot easier, making sure this league is run fairly for every driver. Is clips being sent in so we can get as much evidence to look at the incidents and work out which line of proceedings is the best thing to do going forward. So make sure things are being clipped. If you've been caught in an incident, or even if you've seen an incident, that can help as well for making sure and maintaining that all the decisions that we do and make are 100% straight down the middle, all that good stuff. So as I mentioned, because I'm Mystic Meg over here, a man knows the way of these wild woods. Safety car in this lap. Spa being a long lap, safety car doesn't get out for very long. So Mr. Plains now becomes the safety car, the man, the myth, the legend. Someone joining the lobby there when they should not be. Mr. F1 91, I believe. You are late, my guy, if you are sat here in the chat. Therefore, cannot participate in the race for the evening, as far as I'm aware. But speaking of racing this evening, I think Mr. Plains has absolutely sent it. Nice and early here, caught many of the pack off guard. Oh, and Mercedes-Benz there getting all kind of out of shape in the background. Mr. Fresh Agent now in the Ferrari, almost on the inside, keeping that nose very much, oh hello, interested in the two-turn one. Apologies, almost cheated out my headset out of my control pad. That would be very bad going into turn 1. I can assure you with that. Fresh Agent now on the back of Kurt Mees for absolutely falling off a little bit, a second behind at the minute. Joe Rude, half of a second adrift as well. AJ pulling away nicely from James Mason. In fact, not so much. James Mason dumping all the battery here down into turn 4. Down the inside, and maybe that's big, brave and bold. Not quite yet, not quite close enough. Keeping it interested though. Nope, still no from the young man. But, oh, hello here, Flecky on his return, having a right good old scrap here between 2 cars, Lager and Sterling, I believe. Down the inside, maybe, into turn 6 goes Flecky with missing that as a flexner into the inside. He goes round the outside now of No Name. Great move there. Now Sterling getting involved in the battling going on here through Pua and an Alpine of Tom Twister on the back of the Aston Martin boys here. Lager in the thick of it. Flecky there. What a great move that was from the flexor down the inside of one corner, around the outside of the next. Getting through swiftly, cleanly and efficiently. Love that from you, Flexter. Things you love to see. Goodness me, it's warm tonight. That has made me sweat already. And we are 4 laps into this first race of the evening. Woohoo! Great stuff there. Now Sterling 4 tenths behind Flecky at the moment. Lager 4 tenths behind him as well. Storm Twister in the Alpine, lurking, waiting, creeping behind Sterling at the moment. 3 tenths behind. All he's got to do now is get a little bit patient, wait for the game was lagging there. I thought Storm sent it there into it. I thought he absolutely sent that from 30 yards back. but he did not. The game got a little bit laggy. Speaking of sending it, these two boys here, James Mason and AJ, into turn 1, duking it out. Absolute little bit of contact there from both parties involved. Hard racing, but fair racing nonetheless. Up Eau Rouge and Radion, these two guys go, these two titans over the battery being dumped, overtake being made is what we'll just say. We'll get that tongue twister dealt with swiftly and quickly. James Mason now dumping that battery, getting up the back of the gearbox of the Mercedes-Benz, getting by. Oh, AJ! Oh, switchback of dreams, baby! Oh, got a little bit out of shape on the exit. Still there, though, is the Mercedes-Benz. Great move there from AJ, showing that experience. Getting the better run through 4 and 5. Got a little bit out of shape going into 6, but got that move made very well there. Good driving from both parties involved. Space shown, space given, and respect given from both drivers involved. Great stuff there. I don't think this is over by a long shot. These two are still 3 tenths behind each other, which is very much now giving Flecky the chance to get on the back of this little squabble going on in front, and Sterling as well being pulled along by Flecky as well in the Red Bull. Now only 3 tenths adrift of Flecky. Oh, time penalty from Sterling though, getting all kind of generous on the entry there, taking a lot of the track limits there, I must confess. But getting the runner dreams now on the Red Bull, dumping that battery, the overspeed around Spa is nuts. But Storm here in the Alpine saying, oui, bonjour, monsieur. I want to get Paul Sterling. Absolutely has gone right round there. Oh, more contact, Red Bull. Fuck that polystyrene boarding. Red Bull DNF, Mercedes DNF. 2 cars there. Big collision, a little bit of contact made there from the Red Bull to Flecky, I believe. Very high-speed corner, 1 car going around. Del Boy then getting caught up in the calamity of carbon fibre and polystyrene borders. Shit just went south there very quickly. 3 drivers very much duking it out for the space that wasn't being given. Someone's got to yield there, boys, and 3 drivers very much did not want to yield. Whoa, Jesus, wet. How is that not a safety car? 6 laps of racing, 1 lap now to be had. We've passed sector 1 line, so that's now a lap, basically. And then we got another lap of racing, and the safety car can't come out if he's not more than 2 laps, I believe, of racing to be had. Carnage! Absolute carnage. That almost took my lungs out. Goodness me. Goodness me. Storm Twister survived. Somehow. Flecky didn't survive. Wing damage, I believe. Del Boy very much did not survive. Sterling, as I said there, it was a case of Sterling was in front, I believe. Flecky has made a little bit of contact on the right, on the rear left of Sterling, and at that speed has just brought him round so quickly and just into the wall at 180 mile an hour. Carbon fibre everywhere. Del Boy, bless his little cotton socks, has come around there just a passenger to his own demise, having nowhere to go but into a Mercedes and through a polystyrene board. Absolute calamity. But these 2 boys are still not done apparently. James Mason hounding the back of this Mercedes-Benz of AJ. Picks it inside now, does AJ to defend into the bus stop chicane. James Mason, Storm Twister now getting the almost very much outbreaking himself there into the bus stop chicane there. Lager now on the back of him as well. This is a great little off-board camera here, supplied to us by EA Sports. Camera angles for days, it seems. Now we're going to see James Mason have DRS on the Mercedes-Benz here, up Eau Rouge and Radion. Jesus Christ, words are really hard now. Apparently it's getting all kind of hot and sweaty and hot and bothered on the circuit tonight. AJ is now going to be sitting duck to at least 2 cars onto the grass like an absolute psychopath. These are their full cars, not 4-wheel fucking off-roaders. Get on to pavement, you nutter. Down the inside he goes. AJ has lost that now to 2 cars, I believe. Oh, James Mason has got the move done, then said, you know what, we don't need that anymore. I take pity on thee. Gonna right round into turn 4. Unbelievable. I don't know whether there was contact made there between him and Storm Twister going through turn 4 and 5, but that move got made, was firmly done, and then right round goes James Mason. And AJ has lived to fight another day here. He's held off an onslaught for at least 4 laps so far during this very short race, but very long laps. And that is a lot of time to have a car in your gearbox just saying, mate, I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to piss you now from dusk until dawn, my guy. And that is very much what James Mason was doing there throughout that entire race thus far. Falling back now, though, obviously after the mistake or contact. One of the two didn't quite see what had happened, but Fresh Agent here, up the grid we go. I have neglected the front runners this race. I do apologise, chaps, but the mid-pack have been having a fiasco down in the middle of the field, I should say. They have been going at it like absolute titans, but up the grid we will go for the last lap of this first race. The Fresh Agent behind Abzi in the Aston Martin, looking to take away P3 from him. Oh, someone's had up Rouge. Oh, I thought I'd have sent it and probably crashed, but it would have been worth it just to show how much my ego has got the better of me. Round the outside, he now goes DRS enabled, battery dump. That move's going to be get made long before the apex there. As always, your favourite overtaking opportunity around Spa is upper Rouge Radion, DRS enabled, dump the battery, get that move done long before the corner, then try your best to pull away throughout the remainder of the lap. Try to break the DRS for when you get to the bus stop, and then furthermore break it when you get up towards Eau Rouge again. Great move there from Fresh Agent, keeping close enough to make that move stick, get that move done, and ultimately having enough battery as well to get that move done, because chasing up there with no battery is not fun. You don't get very far. The toe is good, the DRS is strong like Russian tank, but it's not that strong if you've not got no battery to play with. But we'll keep an eye here, because Abzi is pushing to the limit. Oh, Abzi! Oh, almost. I mean, I'm not even driving and I got scared there. Almost losing it through Sector 2 and Sector 3, getting a big wash of oversteer, the rear stepping out. He's dumping every inch of battery he can right now to get this gap. Almost outbrakes himself, does very well to get out of it there and not go into the gearbox of the Ferrari. GG to these two guys for the race they've had at the dying stages of this first race. So Fresh Agent takes the podium position off Abzi on the last lap, well, the second to last lap, then the last lap of the race. So P3 for Fresh Agent there, Abzi P4, Storm Twister P5, Lager P6, oh my lungs, Lager P6, James Mason, AJ, P7, absolute titan of a defence there throughout that entire 8-lap stint. Absolute mental is what that was. Crazy stuff there from you, sir. GG's, absolute GG. James Mason as well, GG to you, mate, for your part you played in that battle there. Joey P9, Cinderfella P10 after getting some damage under a safety car incident. DSL Senna P11. Not too sure what happened with Senna. I don't know whether he binned it himself or got caught in a crash somewhere. And Flecky got caught as well in the incident between Sterling himself. I think Storm was near, but not quite in the incident, so to speak. And Del Boy coming around the corner again. That's twice now. Del Boy has just come around the corner and just caught a face full of death, unfortunately. But GG's there to all parties involved. Up and down the field was battling between everybody. So GG's there, as you mentioned there. P1 from Mr. Plains, Kurt Mistro P2, Fresh Agent P3, Abzi P4, Storm Twister P5, Lager, AJ, Jez Mason, Joe Reed, Cinefella making up the remaining spots from 1 to 10. DSL Senna the Boss Man P11, Flecky P12. Then the retirees fill up the rest of my graphic there that I don't need to pull up because they're retirees. Told you where they are, now you know. Great stuff there, boys. GG's up and down the field. My lungs are struggling. Yeah, I said it looked like you was close enough to like basically feel them breathing, Storm, but didn't get hit somehow. Like it was just calamity, just poof. It's absolute. I mean, blessed Elboy. Just came around the corner and there's just a Mercedes just sat there. Just like, oh no. Ooh, man needs a drink. Ooh, I am sweating. I am sweating. Now we've got, who just readied up? Man's not recovered. Man's not recovered. Don't do this to me. Well, he very much part of the Red Seas for you, sir. Is what he did, Storm. Very much part of those Red Seas. Racing instant, the guys were just close. You know, there was no malicious intent there whatsoever. The guys were close, wheel to wheel, and at that speed, a little bit of contact, as we saw, just sends one car right round. At that speed, you can't save it. I think he was like 185 miles an hour. Gets spun around. You've got no chance in catching that. But GG's to Flecky, Sterling as well. Yourself, Storm, as well, for being involved in that scrap lager as well. That was a great little scrap there between four of you. Huge GG's. Preset 2. Rain has appeared in the forecast. Ooh, hello. Ooh, hello. I like rain. Rain is good. I've secretly been doing a rain dance on my sofa. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I can remove people from here as the host of the lobby. Otherwise, I would remove them already. But I can't. So. But you are correct, sir. He does need to be requested to leave the lobby. It was late. Simple as that. Oh. No, absolutely. If he races where he finishes, it isn't going to matter. It's not going to count for anything. So, but he was late. So it's rules, and that same rule applies for every driver involved. So, well, we was due to go at 25 past 8, just sorting an issue with a person in the lobby. Then I believe we'll be underway. As I try to get my lungs and my voice box ready for 22 laps of this circuit, and it is looking murky, I must be said. I mean, absolutely. Do you know, and the thing is as well is, and we've done it for plenty of drivers, and we'll continue to do it for every driver that is in our league. Is that if we're all sat in the lobby and a driver lets us know he'll be 5-10 minutes just sorting out a important matter, just sorting out something. If we're all sat in the lobby and we've not started racing yet, no session has started, or to be honest with you, even if we're during like a short qualifying or a qualifying session, we've let drivers join because sometimes, mate, life is life. Sometimes small little things pop up that need tending to. So if you're 5-10 minutes late to the lobby, all the lads will happily sit and wait 5-10 minutes longer for you to get in. We'll do that for every driver. But joining after the first race has already begun and kicked off, you know, there's being late, then there's being late. And that is being late. Speaking of being late, so Hedgehog is late to greet me this evening. How dare you, young man, for not being here on time at the start of the stream saying hi to my beautiful face. Tut tut tut. Unimpressed. Good man, unimpressed. No, I'm kidding. Wait, hope well. So far. Hope you're all well too. I hope you are well. So it's so hard to have my Spotify playing in my headset whilst I'm doing commentary because I just want to break out into song, and then that's gonna get the stream ruined because you don't want to hear me sing. Unless it's like Barbie Girl, then I might break out into a little bit of Barbie Girl. I'm not gonna lie. That might be too hard to not do. If Barbie Girl comes on in my Astros, you know what I mean? Just a rule of thumb. Barbie Girl comes on, you sing Barbie Girl, just straight away. That's how we do. Oh mate, I saw at least three of your lagers just very clearly not be ready at the start there, but fortunately, Monsieur Kingy fat fingered his Ableton. It seems at the start, but not the first time it's happened. Won't be the last. But I will give you all some due credit throughout the few weeks that we've been doing this league. You've all been extremely well drilled on giving your boy 5 minutes to rest my voice and yourself 5 minutes just to get things ready, things organised. Go for a wee, get a drink, say goodnight to the kids. All that fun stuff. Speaking of fun stuff, races time. As we've got 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. We've got 5 lights and a delay still. Still a delay, and a Del Boy getting a drive-through penalty off the rip. Not what you want to see there from the Red Bull of Del Boy is a drive-through penalty, jump-starting the gun there. Too quick for yourself, Junior. Slow yourself down, young man. Far too quick. There's these two now going wheel to wheel up Eau Rouge. Are we lap 1? No, we are not. Mr. Plains there. Wise man indeed. Tucking in behind. Getting that toe down Radion into turn 4. Fresh agent though in the Friars. So hello boys, I'm here. Nice to meet you as well. Chopping and changing down the grid. Also, let's get involved in this mid-pack real quick. We got a little bit of angle there at the guys in front. Kept Misha losing out there to Mr. Plains into turn 5, but it's mid-pack here. 2 tenths, 3 tenths, half a tenth, separating guys up and down the middle of the field. Very hard to get all the guys involved here with the camera angle, but we will do our best to make sure all the action is caught up and down the grid. I can assure you that AJ at the forefront of this fighting and the battling and the scrapping in the first race, maintaining P9 James Mason, P8 Joe Reed in the McLaren. A welcome back to him, I must add, during this second race. Good to see you back on circuit with us, young man. Hope all is well your side of the fence with you and the family. All that good stuff. In P7 in the McLaren. Lager in P6 again, having a nice little ding-dong in the first race. Sat behind his teammate at the moment. Team orders maybe later on in the race. We'll keep an eye on that with the Aston Martin boys. Will they duke it out, battle it out? Will they help each other out? One Kenny Jim not helping himself out there with a 3-second time penalty to his name. Del Boy as well, obviously needs to serve that drive-through penalty at some point in the next 3 laps. Otherwise, risking getting a disqualification. Best thing to do, serve it early. Get it done now. Oh, speaking of getting things done now, Joe Reed and Lager having a good old ding-dong into the bus stop chicane. Lager very much waving his hand out saying, get that bus stopped. I want to get on board and right round that baby. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. No. Although he's got a run there. Oh no. Never mind. Ignore me. 69 F1 there. Thank you, sir, for retiring the car and not continuing with proceedings. As we mentioned, you was late, sir, by a long, long way. Lager there getting all out of out shapes, I believe. Up Eau Rouge, now under pressure from the car behind. Not quite yet. Speaking of pressure, though, AJ's got Senna right up the side of him into turn 4. The contact made there with the Mercedes-Benz held extremely well. Senna not quite being in front to take the apex there. Race incident nonetheless. Senna as gracious as ever. Huge GG's to you there, good sir. Letting AJ back through. Contact made through turn 4. Not quite the space that you were thinking was there. Give him the spot back for the contact through the move. GG's there, matey. Things you love to see is that sportsmanship on circuit. I'm going to assume we've got either a VSC here or a full course safety car. There's no yellow dot yet, so we've not got a safety car. I'm going to assume it's a VSC. For what I'm also going to assume was Mr. E69 F1 DNFing his car up Eau Rouge and Radion. A pit lane retirement would have sufficed, sir, but we appreciate it nonetheless. So up the grid at the minute, we've got Mr. Plains holding out in P1, Kurt Misha P2, First Agent Storm Twister P3, P4, Abzi in P5, almost pushing Storm Twister. Is that a little bit of drizzle I see on my screen? Am I seeing things? No, I am not. A little bit of rain starting to fall now in the high, busky, windy mountains of Belgium. This is going to be interesting now tonight. If a little bit of rain starts falling, we are in for a good time, a fun time, and the drivers are in for a very long time and a very strenuous time around this circuit. This circuit is great in the dry, a little bit tricky in the wet. Speaking of tricky, Joe Reed now getting overtaken by James Mason. This young man has had plenty of G-fuel tonight, it seems, because he is absolutely rocketeering past cars tonight, dumping all the battery down the first DRS zone of the lap. Great move there from you, young man. Plenty of room given. The overspeed being used. Absolutely, I believe. Getting past Joe Reed as well. He's having a little bit of a hard time. Is Monsieur Joe Reed at the moment. Maybe the grip level's slowly starting to fade away a little bit. Saying that, some rain is slowly starting to fall a little bit heavier. So we'll keep an eye on that throughout the next few laps. See how much starts to fall. We've got Fresh Agent on the back now of Mr. Plains in P1. 3/10 behind at the moment in the Ferrari is Fresh Agent. Kurt Mistro hanging on to the back of the gearbox of the Ferrari in P3 in the Haas, the Ferrari powered Haas as well. So Mamma Mia fighting Mamma Mia at the minute. DRS going to be very much engaged for Fresh Agent and Kurt Mistro. So will this leave Mr. Plains in P1 a sitting duck? No, it will not. He's pitting for some intermediates, I imagine. So is Fresh Agent as well, I would assume. Is that the entire P10 basically boxing for a set of intermediates? No, it's not. There is a VSC out again, I believe, or a safety car. Absy being brave, opting to stay out unless the call was made after he passed the pit entry. Watching Casper, the friendly F1 car there in the pit lane. Pit crew is waiting there, but no car. There he is. No car being worked upon. So I'm going to imagine, if I was a betting boy, intermediates is the way, it seems, for the minute. So the boys are very much saying it's getting a little bit slippy. It's getting a little bit dicey, a little bit moist out on circuit. Shout out to you, Senna, for that glorious word that I know you love. So now looking to get the intermediate compound tyre onto the car. Don't get me wrong, it is drizzling. Doesn't look. Ooh, do you know? I'd have been torn. I would have been torn between what compound of tyre to stuck on here. So what we're going to do for the next few laps is just keep an eye on Mr. Fresh Agent and Exotic Plains, P3, P4, but on the intermediate tyre. Lager now sat P2 with a 8.5 second gap on a set of mediums. Is that a car going right round somewhere further down the field? I believe it was Angry Davy P getting all out of shapes through sector 2, but yes. Oh no, there's another guy going right round. Joe Reed losing a small piece. Well, I say small piece, his entire front end of that McLaren at the minute, needing to box there for a new nose. That is for certain. It's a shame nose surgery isn't that easy to fix. I will get rid of my beak in no time. So he's going into the pit lane to get a new nose cone for that McLaren. But I digress. Big nose jokes aside, we'll keep an eye on this gap between the two guys, P3, P4, on the intermediates, and Lager up front on the medium tyre, because now it is getting wet. In fact, let's get on board some of these guys on the dry compound of tyre at the moment. Absy taking it at a very leisurely pace there through turn 14. I'm not too sure what happened to my accent there. Sucker facts. But Absy going through, excuse me, turn 4 and turn 5 there at a leisurely pace on the hard tyres. Can't imagine these compound of tyres is feeling fun at the minute. They're going to be very slide. Oh, it is now very wet. Is wise. How wet you say? Very, very wet is the conditions. It is starting to come down at a decent lick here. We've got Angry Davy P braving it out in P8 on the medium tyres at the moment. Brave Boy is angry. Davey P looking to channel all of that anger and get this Haas around and into the pit lane would be the best choice for you, good sir. At the moment, it will be safe to assume it is intermediate conditions right here, right now, right here, right now. And I'm not going to continue that joke on that song because jokes in threes is my rule of thumb. But he's going to now get swamped by cars behind here. Senna needs to be patient. It's all you got to do here is... Ooh! It looked like Angry David P was getting out of the way to let him through. But then kind of getting back onto the racing line. Wasn't really too sure. But move done. Safely on by. Jobs are good. No harm involved. Let's get up some positions changed here. Ooh, almost a little bit of contact there from the Mercedes-Benz of AJ. Not quite though, as Angry David P now pits, rightly so, and gets those tyres off. Surely these guys at the front have pitted. Abzi still on the hard compound tyre. At this point, I'm thinking I'm going to be getting out of my F1 car and into a small canoe, rather than being on these hard tyres at the minute. And he is... I mean, he's keeping pace at the moment, don't get me wrong. The gap in P2 is coming down a few tenths a sector at the minute. But he's still got a 5.5 second gap. A healthy little gap on those hard tyres. And if he's feeling alrighty, I mean, why not? Why not, I suppose? Who am I to judge this man's strategies? We'll see how long he can hold out for on the hard tyres. At the moment, it is looking like those hard tyres are going to have to come off in the next lap or so. That would be my educated guess for the moment. So we'll keep an eye on that. So we've got Senna 17 seconds adrift of Lager in P7. Brain absolutely drawing a blank there, it seems. One Jim with another time penalty. Why are words so difficult? Ooh, yellow flag, sector 3. Where is that? We've got Abzi. Oh no! Made a mistake, I believe, coming through the bus. Oh, bright round, baby. Bright round he goes. As I mentioned, those hard tyres should have come off. I think they should have been taken off a lap and a half ago, at least. Oh, brave boy here, get on those brakes. You've got to lift through Rouge and Radion on those hard tyres in these kind of conditions. Very brave to stick it out. But there is a fine line between brave and stupid, I believe. And I think those hard tyres could have done with being taken off a lap and a half, 2 laps ago. That is for certain. Now James Mason on the back of Storm Twister in the AlphaTauri, almost pushing him through turn 4, 5 and 6 through No Name, I believe. Nicely through. Oh, big snap above us there. That's a wrist breaker if I've ever seen one. For those that race on a wheel and pedals, know that that is not pleasant on the wrists and the forearms. That's for certain. That'll send you shaking and thrown out of your seat in a jiffy. I can assure you that. Well, these two guys at the moment, let's take off some gizmos for the second. Give you the full screen, the full action of the Alpine and the AlphaTauri through Sector 2 into Sector 3. These two guys go. Gonna get a nice run now is the young man into the bus stop chicane, not using the battery yet. Gonna be a little bit careful through here. The understeer naturally through this corner in the wet. When you both out wide, battery now being deployed, getting a move around the outside, maybe into the bus stop. So interested later on the brakes. Then James Mason switch back, maybe on into turn 1 possibly, as he gets a nice run here through the bus stop chicane into turn 1. These two guys go, not quite getting that move done. Great defense as always from Storm Twister. They're always great in defense is Mr. Storm. Abzi now getting those hard tires off this car. Better late than never, eh? Better late than never. Onto the intermediates, here we'll go. I can imagine. So what we've got down the grid, let's have a nosy, let's have a gander at these guys further down the field. Cinnafella, a couple of tenths behind Del Boy at the moment in P11, as he's just passed some cars in the pit lane, I believe. Yes, he's passed Abzi. Got Abzi losing out a great deal here. Going into the pit lane, lost out a small handful of positions there. Sterling on the back of Cinnafella as well. 7 tenths behind, 6 tenths now behind. Cinnafella in front, getting a mega run on the brother team here. Alpha turn around the outside, or down the inside, I should say, into turn 4 very nicely on the bridge. Del Boy not giving that up. I can assure you that, fighting that back with ease and grace. Cinnafella taking the scenic route there, taking a little bit of grass on his way to Del Boy. They're very much bringing that back through turn 5 and turn 6. Great fighting there from you two on circuit, more so in these tricky conditions. Things you love to see is cars duking it out, battling it out to the limit in the trickiest of conditions, where it is wet, slippy, slidey, and all kinds of moist. Speaking of moist, Sterling P12, 4 tenths behind Cinnafella and Del Boy at the moment, tucking in patiently behind the fighting cars in front, rightly so. Doesn't have to do anything drastic here, doesn't Sterling. Just wait for these two guys in front to make a mistake as they're battling it out. Take up the positions. Job's a good one. Thank you very much. Abzi, though, lurking in the wakes, as well is Joe Reed in the McLaren. Down the grid, we are going to... No, up the grid, sorry. We are going to scoot. First agent still 6 tenths behind Mr. Plains at the... Is that a Ferrari? Is that a Alfa Romeo around? On Eau Rouge. Someone's had a little bit of an incident somewhere through Eau Rouge and Radion, I believe. Is that a Kingy? It was a Kingy in the Ferrari, I believe. Yes, it was. Crashing and burning, it seems. The slippery, slidey circuit that is Belgium tonight being proving too much for the Ferrari of King tonight, it seems. I think that was up Eau Rouge and Radion. Very hard in the wet, very easy in the dry. And I think, if I'm rightly speaking, that is a full course safety car. Yes, it is. There he is parked up, round to go, as one Canadian passes the safety car. So, well, so far it has been wet, wild, all of the above. It has been carnage in the mid pack. The front runners getting away nicely on every race so far. Mid pack getting a little bit messy here and there, with the cars being a little bit closer together throughout the sectors. Then a little bit of rain to spice it up, and now a safety car. Lap 9 of 22 into the second race. So this isn't going to do much as far as pit stops goes. I mean, sure, some drivers can opt to pit, get on a set of new intermediates, extend the stint after the pit stop, but a lot of the guys here are just going to opt for maintaining track position, not losing out up and down the field. But now just the path's going to be a little bit closer bunched together. So we're in for another round, another quick dose of the entire field being tightly knitted together. Is it James Mason there getting a nice little power slide on through turn 1? Things you'd love to see. Oh, voice break number 2 of the night. Well, things you'd love to see is a little bit of tail action in the wet conditions. Yes, yes, and yes. Tempo saying Emilia, yeah. I mean, not quite. We've not quite hit the point yet of full flowing rivers into turn 1 kind of thing, but it's getting there. I'll give it a few days. No doubt the conditions will catch up. So, as in the first race, the safety car won't be out for very long, given the length of the circuit. All that malarkey. Usually one or two laps, usually 3 at a push, depending on where the incident occurs on circuit. But we've got a few cars to catch up the front runners at the moment. P1 to P5 very much second adrift of each other, then P6 onwards are the cars we are expecting to catch up to the back of the field, and then we are back to green flag conditions after the safety car peels away. The question is, can anyone stop this fellow sat in P1 at the moment, because he is running away in the driver's standings, and Williams are not as quite running away in the constructors, but still sat in P1 at the moment. So can Fresh Agent, Storm Twister, or maybe Lager and Kurt Mistro, possibly the young man of James Mason in P6, can one of them contest Mr. Plains in P1? Somebody needs to break the streak, needs to get that done and dusted. Things you love to see though is, you know, guys up the field racing well, doing well, showcasing the best of their abilities and winning races. But always nice to see a new sitter on the P1 spot. The Discord link on channel doesn't work. I will let Senna know, matey, because that is not my thing to sort out, good sir, but I will let him know. I am just here to blabble bollocks. That is it for me. But speaking of blabbing bollocks, so this should be the last lap of the safety car. We've got Abzi currently coming up to the bus stop. Yes, not the bus stop. Sorry, I am completely off circuit. There is where I am. I'm nowhere near the bus stop. Coming through 10:45 or 3 and 4, maybe. Either way, he's catching up. Is what I'm getting at. So this should be the last lap of the safety car for the evening, which is very much things you love to see. So we'll get rid of that. Wait for the little gizmo to ping up, saying that the safety car is going to be peeling away and going into the pit lane. And then we will resume the evening's proceedings of the second race of round 6 of the DSL Sprint League. There we go. Safety car in this lap. Yes, yes. And more yes. So, we're going to try to keep on board here with like P3. We'll keep on board P2. Is what we'll do. See how the front runners get away here. Although it looks like it's drying up a little bit, I'm not gonna lie here. That safety car seems to have gone away. Conditions seem to be drying up, and I'd be pondering now, maybe is it going to be very much close now to slick conditions? It looks a little bit greasy. Don't get me wrong, but it is looking dry as a bone here. Going into turn 1, minus a few dark patches. Oh, that safety car's peeled away there. It's a very interesting time now, because the boys at the back of the field are very much seeing what I'm seeing on with my goggling bins is that the tarmac is looking dry now. It's very much stopped raining all of a sudden and become what I would deem slick conditions straight away. So now we've got guys further down the field, Centerfella Sterling, Absy as well, Wunkity Jim, and Angry Davey P, the angriest driver you've ever seen, sat in P16, getting it into the pit lane as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. In fact, I stand corrected. We've got Kurt Measure, James Mason, Joe Reed on the intermediates in P8, Senna Flecky and Delboy all jumping onto the slicks as well. Ho ho! So some chaps here been caught with their pants around their ankles a little bit on the safety car restart, and some making the most of conditions drying up. What has to be said, excuse me, I do apologise, very quickly. It seems going from wet conditions to slightly spitting to slick conditions between a lap and a half. But this F1 games have a funny weather pattern, dude. That the weather cycle on F1 games, it's insane. I have no idea how it works and operates. But Kurt Maestro now is making the most here on that high compounder tyre, sending it there through sector 3 round the outside of Lag in the Aston Martin on the we'll try again. Lager on the intermediates now, jumping straight into pit lane, as are all the race leaders. Mid players now boxing. Fresh agent, Storm Twister, Lager himself, AJ, well, yeah, basically, long story short here, all the intermediate runners are going to be boxing for slick compound tires. Delboy now DNFing somewhere on circuit, I believe. Is that, don't be another safety car here, lads. Bloody God. So, Lifeline's been conditions changed, which threw a spanner into the mix, which was going to make this race interesting, dynamic and fun. Where a few drivers have made a great pit stop call, they've noticed conditions changing, got into the pit box early, got hard tyres on, got slicks on, back out on circuit, caught the guys unawares who didn't notice conditions and didn't get into pit lane straight away, and now that's just been completely nullified, taken away, because now we've got another safety car. So now, that great call from all those guys on circuit has now just been thrown into the wind, you could say. So now safety car there, as you see, packed up, ready to go. Kurt Misho, James Mason, Senna Flecky, all the guys now sat in a really good position, now not benefiting from that great call they made. But does slightly open a window here, I suppose, for Cinefella Sterling and Absy. Do you keep on that soft compounder tyre for the remaining few laps, risk them burning away at the end of the race, but hopefully you've gained enough up the field to justify that call on the soft tyres? Or do you box now for a set of mediums maybe, or a set of hards? Because I can't imagine the mediums are that worn from the first race. I know a couple of chaps pitted during the first race, changed onto a new set of mediums to save one set. So, I think I'd be maybe getting off the soft compounder tyre at the minute, maybe getting onto some worn mediums. But they are only a lap or we're lap 14. 2 more laps on a safety car takes us to lap 16. Oh, maybe so actually. The soft tyre might be alrighty for the last few laps of this race. We shall see though. We shall see how they go. So whilst we're here, we'll bring up some penalties, get caught up on the field. Fleck it with a 3-second time penalty, AJ with a 3-second, Woodkinney Jim with 18 seconds worth. Oofed. Someone's been pushing those track limits throughout the Grand Prix, I can tell you that. Sterling with 6 seconds, Absy clean as a whistle with none, Angry Davey P with 9. So after this safety car restart and the end of the race, Flecky going to be losing out massively here with that 3-second time penalty. AJ as well at risk of dropping out the points and losing out with that 3-second. Sterling, if he makes some moves on that soft compound tyre, again going to be missing out massively with that 6 seconds worth of time penalties that he's got to serve at the end of the race. But we'll keep an eye on that as we get further up in the field. And that, because what we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cars to catch up here through the last stages of Sector 2. If they can catch up before Sector 3 line, I think we might have safety car in this lap. Or usually it's been called by now actually, so I'm not too sure. We shall see. Maybe a late call to go in. Angry Davey pushing the track limits to their limit under safety car conditions, it seems. So no, we've got one more lap of safety car, apparently. I was hoping the pack might have been caught up at the back there, and the game had enough time to get the safety car peeled away to get these boys racing. Because it's a long old lap, man. It's a long old lap in Spa. Under safety car, it feels like a lifetime. It really does. It is such a long lap under safety cars. We've got Kurt Mistro here in P1 at the moment, I believe. Maybe we're gonna go down the inside of the safety car into turn 1. Oh, not quite yet. Safety car defending like a lion there into turn 1. Great racing from him at the front of the field. Up towards Eau Rouge they go. Let's watch that Aston Martin go up Eau Rouge. See how flat he takes it. We've got Kurt Mistro here as reference. 140 mile, 130 mile an hour almost up the back of him. Absolute bottle job from the Aston Martin there, lifting and braking up Eau Rouge. Unbelievable stuff. How would you kill time here, honestly, around Spa when it's a safety car conditions? In fact, actually, one thing I've not done tonight is a rundown of the standings. So, driver standings, we've got Mr. Plains P1, Absy P2, the Kirtley P3, DSL Senna P4, Fresh Agent P5, great training from him thus far, James Mason P6, Snacks P7, Mr. Cheese, the man, the myth, the Dairy Lee Site P8, Storm Twister P9, and Sterling P10. As I mentioned earlier, Mr. Plains very much running away with the points tally, sat on a juicy 155 points at the moment in P1. Absy on 86, Kirtley on 82, Senna on 80, Fresh Agent on 75, James Mason 44, Snacks in P7 on 37, Mr. Cheese 36 in P8, Storm Twister 33 points, Sterling 32 points. Very close throughout P7 and P10. So plenty to play for between the drivers' standings. I can assure you that the constructors as well. Williams P1, Haas P2, Aston Martin P3, Alpine sat comfortably and cozy P4, Ferrari P5, Alfa Romeo, mamma mia, in P6, AlphaTauri P7, Red Bull P8, Mercedes P9, and McLaren P10. Again, same story as such in the constructors. Williams 161 points. P1, 138 points to the Haas boys, 104 points to the Aston Martin pairing, 93 points to the Bonjour Messieurs of the Alpine pairing in P4. Ferrari 81 points. That's probably borderline races with the wee stuff, but we'll pass on it on anyway. Alfa Romeo P6 sorry, on 78 points. AlphaTauri 67 points. Red Bull P8 on 39 points. Mercedes-Benz 38 points, and McLaren P10, sorry, on 26 points. My brain is frazzled. It's warm, it's muggy, there's been safety cars, Kirtley sent it into the bus stop chicane. I'm all kind of hot and bothered. I've got a few laps here now to enjoy of these guys under a safety car restart, all on slicks, as we've got cars chopping and changing into the bus stop, I believe. We've got a Ferrari, exotic planes, and a Storm Twister getting a great seat into turn 1 of these three guys, I believe, in front here, having a great little old ding-dong into turn. Was that a yellow flag, I believe? Or someone getting... Oh, this guy's going to off the road a little bit. Sterling DNFing now. Down the... Oh, my jawline is just faltering right now in the dying stages of this Grand Prix. Sterling now DNFing at the back of the field into turn 1. Not too sure what's happened there between himself and the rest of the field. Mr. Plains though, almost pushing the Red Bull of Flecky here. A little bit of contact made there through turn 5. Bumping in F1 is forbidden, sir. I can assure you that. But that Red Bull now looking to get those hard tyres up to temperature as fast as possible and try to get up the road as quickly as possible. But that is not easy when you've got Mr. Plains behind you here, who has go juice. Just gap open up a little bit down the inside, maybe through pool one. Yes, he goes. Flecky though, getting a load of overspeed there on the exit, getting that inside line there through there. Outside line now he has to take as Mr. Plains gets through down the inside. He goes. Fresh agent now around the outside of the Red Bull. Track limits being pushed, or rightly so. But that move being made now. Flecky is getting a 3-man onslaught, it seems, from the Ferrari, the Williams, and now the Alpine. Getting the overspeed through Sector 3 into the bus. A little bit of wheel banging there as well. A love tap on the way through there. A little bit of a kiss on the noggin, it seems, from the Alpine of Storm Twister going through around the outside of Flecky there. Great move there from 3 drivers getting past the Red Bull. We'll keep an eye on that as his tyres try and get up to temperature as fast as they can. Lager now getting all kind of interested down the inside. He was pondering opting to stay out of that and look to get a toe now through Eau Rouge, Radion, and into turn 4. I am hot tonight, folk. I am sweating. It is a muggy night tonight even, and this is making me all kinds of sweaty. I can assure you that. AJ now just a second adrift of the guy in P9. Wookity Jim now getting overtaken, it seems, by Absiv on the outside, maybe down the inside. Now he goes into turn 4, sends it like an absolute champion. 3 seconds penalties, 3 seconds worth of penalties. Goodness gracious me, Adam. Why can't we speak tonight? It is all kinds of sweaty for him into turn 4, getting that move made and making that stick. Great move there from you, DRS, not quite enabled yet, but getting the overspeed through Eau Rouge and Radion. Whew. Goodness me. Tonight has been an evening, folk. It has been an evening. Joe Reed now, the man with no penalties at the moment, sat in P9. He could make up a small handful of positions here, can Joe. We've got Lager in P8, 3 seconds. Flecky holding 6 seconds. Storm, Fresh Agent, and Exotic Plains now, all with 3 second time penalties. Joe Reed here is 4/10 adrift of Lager. Oh, hello. Hang on, wait a minute. Speaking of Lager, around the outside, maybe a Flecky being late on those brakes. We've seen that plenty of times over the years. Is Flecky's braking prowess very much being showcased there into the bus stop chicane. Lager now around the outside, getting the overspeed, getting that move made into turn 1. Not quite yet. Around the outside, a little bit of wheel banging there, but all fair is love is war, baby. Around the outside, he goes into turn 1. Now getting the overspeed. Yes, he is, but now Flecky very much in the driving seat here. Up on Rouge he comes. Oh, more penalties for the Red Bull racer tonight, and that is 9 seconds now, I believe. But now it's all about pride. Hello, where's he come from? McLaren out of nowhere. I've been so captivated by these two fellas having a fight. Joe Reed has come out of absolute nowhere, stuck a rocket booster into the back of that McLaren, sent it to the absolute skies and beyond into turn 4. He's got overspeed from 2 cars. Battery very much being dumped, I would imagine, and absolutely breezed on by there in the McLaren. Great stuff there. Opportunistic as ever in the... Oh, there's Mason now DNFing somewhere on the wall. Careful! They're off. Oh dear, I thought Storm Twister was about to go into the back of a car there at warp speed. Goodness me, that's never a safety car. That's never a safety car right now. It is a safety car. Come on, man. Safety car. 18 laps in. Safety car. Unbelievable. We've got James Mason DNFing right in the dying stages of this race. So, what do guys do? Get me to very much saying that I'm keeping P1, boys, is what I'm doing. This is mine. I'm gonna keep this if you don't mind. I'm gonna hold it real tight. And I'm gonna hold it real good. And I ain't letting go of this P1 on that hard tie at the minute. Because the guys behind him, which was, I may add, Mr. Plains, sat in P3, was leading this race. First Agent at one point, I believe, was sat P2, P3. Very much again on for a podium finish. Finish is a word I've just produced there during this commentary session. Is finish. Not quite finished, not quite from Finland, but finished is a word that I tried to use there in my sentence. But what I'm trying to say is there was 3 guys here tonight that was very much on for a very strong finish. But now they've all got penalties. So really Kurt Maestro doesn't have to do anything drastic here. Stay out. 3rd voice break of the evening. Son of a biscuit. All he's got to do is stay out. 4th one. Jesus Christ, that's 2 in a row. Apparently my voice is chalked right now. 19 laps in. Voice is going. Throat can't do it anymore. I've apparently hit puberty again. I'm now 13 and my voice is breaking at every sentence that I try to speak. We'll try again. For the 3rd time. Adam, goodness gracious me. Kurt Maestro doesn't have to do anything drastic. Because he's got a set of hard tyres that are going to be relatively fresh here. Keep them up to temperature, keep them warm, keep them in a good window. He's going to be right as rain for the last few laps. Senna in P2, I would imagine, staying out, absolutely. Keeping those hards on. Almost said that very badly. Keeping those hards on. Get your brains out the gutter, ladies and gentlemen. Hards on. Not what you are thinking. Maintaining track position. Because why not? The guys behind who had everything to lose have now done everything to lose it. Gaining those time penalties. And there's only going to be a lap and a half, basically, of racing. 19 laps in now. There's not going to be many laps to be had of this Belgium Grand Prix. Sterling, mate, hope you're well, you beautiful, magnificent human being. Hope you are well, my guy. Love to see your face wherever I put my goggling bins. I can promise you that. Unfortunate, mate, about the DNF tonight and in the first race as well, mate. That first race, the battling that was happening was immense. Was great stuff. Things you'd love to see is 4 cars having that level of fight with that much respect shown between each driver. Naturally so, though. Comes hard racing, comes a high risk. And that's, oh god, I thought Senna was going up the arse of that Haas then. I thought that Haas got an Alfa Romeo up the ass. It's what I thought that was going to happen there. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Yes, I made a Haas pun about a F1 car going up its... Anyway, I digress. Toilet humour out the way. Lap 28 of 22. This will probably be the last lap of safety car conditions. And then we're going to be back racing. So let's keep an eye, because this could be absolute carnage. This could go either very well, where the racing is great, or there's going to be murder into turn 1, a little bit more murder up Eau Rouge and Radion, and maybe a slight, small plethora of death into turn 3, 4, 5. You just quite never know with safety car restarts. But we'll see, and we'll keep on board the most of the action that we can do throughout the last 2 laps of this race. James Mason saying in the chat, what we got here? Slightly too much curb at Pouon. Oh, mate, that curb is deadly into Pouon. Can bring that rear end right round. And the corner entry speed you are taking through there gives you very little chance to regain the oversteer that gets you. Not fun at all. What about Spain? T6 going over the hill. Oh, mate, turn 6 of Spain can absolutely eat my fruit salad. Is what it can do. Turn 6 at Spain is not fun. So easy to lose your rear through turn 6. Just how the corner naturally is, because you're going left on the exit, and then you hit that little bit of hill, and it just resets the rear and just woohoo! All kinds of loosey-goosey. So, speaking of loosey-goosey, I'm feeling all kind of loosey-goosey right now because we've got 2 laps of racing to go. And we've got Senna and Kurt Mistro here, who very much a case of either one of these guys now can take P1 in the dynasties of this Grand Prix. We've got 12 guys, 12 drivers survived the onslaught of Spa, the barrage that is Belgium, the Belgium Grand Prix, round 6 tonight, baby, of the DSL Sprint League, and it has been an absolute belter from start to finish. Short qualifying, great as always. First race, action-packed as always. Second race, I mean, we've had good, bad, ugly, wet, mildly moist, and very moist is what we've had right now, as Mr. Plains almost pushing the boss man, it seems. Up Eau Rouge and right down the inside, he's looking to go into let's get off on that real quick, fuck that shit. Down the inside he goes, but carrying 3 seconds worth of penalties. So Senna really doesn't have to fight that hard. Just stay close enough is all he's got to do, and that P2 will come straight back into his arms. But that is helping out Mr. Kurt Mistro here in P1. You two fight it out, he's going to start saying, let me pull away. I will happily go off into the sunset and be gone with you, is what he's wanting to do. But down the grid, we are going to go real quick, because these guys, yes, all have penalties, but all are driving because they are drivers, they're racers, they've got egos and pride. And on-circuit position where you finish matters more than where you finish afterwards if the racing is good. So now we've got an AJ now caught in the middle of a Red Bull and Ferrari sandwich. It seems, man, he's got a Ferrari at the back, a Flecky in the front. It's like BFL days all over apparently, it seems now, because we've got guys up and down from each era of league racing that I've been a part of, all involved here, going through sector 3 wide almost into the bush. Oh, a little bit of contact made there from one guy, I believe not quite getting out of shape enough to cause a calamity of carbon fibre, but out of shape enough to lose the position, I believe. Yes, it was up the field real quick. Yes, we are, because Kurt Mistro now under pressure from Mr. Plains in P2, but 3-second time penalty sat there. So does he back himself here to get by and pull a gap in this last lap? It would be an effort to be had if he can get by here, very much pushing that Haas, dumping all of the battery he can do. Hey, a bit of mud being made down the field as well. Joe Reed very much capitalising on his antics with the pit stop windows at the end of the race. Getting up the field, he comes in the McLaren. What a return to racing this would be for Joe Reed, now getting a podium finish at the end of the race. But as we all know, Senna not going to give this up without a good old scrap and a ding-dong, that is for certain. Down the field, very quick lager now. Oh, Mercedes-Benz, off he goes. AJ into the wall he goes. Boom! Front wing splattered everywhere. Mercedes-Benz, get that repair bill sent, checked, and catered for, please, and thank you. In the dynasties of this Grand Prix, not what you need to see there is Monsieur AJ losing the rear, I think, or getting tagged, dropping it through the sector and hitting the barrier, losing the front wing. All of the front wing as well, not just an end plate. The entire front wing was gone skis. But these two guys here still very much neck and neck here. The dynasties of the race into the bus stop chicane. These two guys goes switch back, maybe from the center. Can he get it done to run to the line? Maybe not quite close enough. So that is a great drive there from Mr. Joe Reed to get up the grid, up the field out of absolute nowhere and take a podium spot. Senna's still doing enough though to keep P3 off Mr. Plains, keep it in that 3-second window Kate Mishro did the front of the field. Huge GG's to you, sir. Pit stop, very much a stroke of genius. Getting that pit stop done and getting onto that tyre compound, making up the most of the lads up the field having to pit and taking P1 home, baby. What more can you ask for? Great stuff there. Right, the absolute, I mean, second race of the evening is it's going to be very hard to pick a driver of the day and a overtake of the evening, because a lot of lads tonight have driven the heart out and made some good calls on circuit and all sorts. That is going to be a tricky one. GG's to all involved. That was certainly something. Nice. GG's to all the drivers involved tonight in both races. First race and second race. Great showing from you all. And that is for certain. So, Kent Mishra P1 in the second race of the evening. Once the game lets me kind of bump it over. There we go. Hey. Get Mishra P1, Joe Reed, what a return to racing that is for the young man. P2, DSL Senna making up the third spot on the podium. Great drive from him as well in P3. Mr. Blaze did all the hard work, must be said, drove valiantly throughout both races and did all the hard work in the second, but ruined it with that 3-second penalty. So did a few drivers in the dying stages of the second race of the evening. GG's to everyone involved. Huge kudos up and down the grid. Racing was fantastic. Man is firmly all kind of over temperature and warm after that stint. That is for certain. Oof, my throat. My throat. That is a hard one to come back to. That is for certain. Belgium is a big old circuit. It's a long old lap. Is what it is. Oh, right. Well, that is going to be it. From our side of things. From my side of things, I should say. Because I'm the one sat here blabbing in your glorious ears. That is going to be all from us. From me. From the commentator, from the host, all that bullshit. Pleasure as always, watching you guys on circuit. Again, huge GG's to Snacks for filling in last week in my absence. He did a fantastic job, a great job. So huge kudos to you, the Flying Dutchman, the man we all love and know. So, got to get that in there before we end the night's proceedings. I've been your host and your commentator, Handsome46, the man, the myth, the absolute lunatic, and I will see you all back here, all good and well, for round 7 of the DSL Sprint League, which I believe is... where are we next week? I've not got it written down. We're at a circuit is where we are next week. We're at a circuit and it's got corners and stuff and you drive cars around it. That's where we are next week for round 7 of the DSL Sprint League. Everyone have a great rest of your night, great rest of your evenings. I'll catch you all next week. Much love. Bye bye for now.